Welcome to Columbia Central High School. My name is Kevin Eady, and I'm principal here at Columbia Central High School. I would like to welcome everyone to our Resiliency Award ceremony tonight. At this time, I'd like to make a couple announcements. Ladies, our women's restroom in this area is under maintenance, but we do have a small private restroom that is across from our gym. Please see me. I'll be glad to help you find that if you have any problems. If we need to leave, we have exits at the end as you came in and also at the bottom here to my left. At this time, I'd like to introduce the MC of our ceremony tonight, Dr. Ryan Jackson from Mount Pleasant High School.
Thank you, friends. Thank you. It's my honor to be here tonight as the MC. We've got an incredible show for you. We appreciate or honored by all of our recipients that are here tonight and that have brought family members, guests with them tonight. Again, we thank you. Thank you for everything you've been through your adversity, through overcoming obstacles. That's what this event embodies tonight. I want to give a big shout out to Jack Cobb and all the effort that's come together here really at the last moment to pull this event off. But really, without further ado, we're going to jump right into your program, and I'm going to introduce Miss Betty Kinser. She's School Board Vice Chair. She is Maury County through and through, and she's going to kick us off with a warm welcome.
Thank you all for being here tonight. This is the fourth time we've done the Resiliency Awards, and I remember the first year we did it, we were over in the band room, and I thought this has got to be something we continue. And then COVID came, and so we were still able to do it. Mr. Cobb and I went to all the school, Mr. Fulbright, and were able to make those awards in person. And last year we were able to come back here and to hear the stories of resilience, the students, the staff. And I think resilience is a really good word that explains why many of you do the things you do, especially our staff. I think resiliency is another thing that you as students have to do with all the challenges you face as well. So we're happy you're all here, and really can't wait to hear all the wonderful stories.
Thank you, Ms. Kinser. I'd also like to take just a couple of minutes here to introduce a few more folks on our panel as well. Tonight, you're going to be hearing from a couple of our principals. We've got Ms. Renata Powell and we've got Ms. Shonda Sparrow. They will be reading our Resiliency Award recipients. We'll also have Assistant Superintendent Colonel Scott Gaines. He's going to be reading that as well. I would like to also identify, we have Mr. Michael Fulbright, School Board Chair, and Ms. Marlena Irvin, School Board Member as well, with us on our panel tonight. But up next is a man who really needs no introduction. In fact, he was our guidance counselor at Mount Pleasant High School for 3 years. He's an amazing advocate for all students, but especially students that are struggling with those socio-emotional needs. This person has helped us lead through the pandemic, post-pandemic, really working with students that have been impacted by trauma, anxiety, depression, and I tell you what, he's turned out to be much more than that for me. I consider him a friend as well. I would like at this time, and actually I apologize, I'd be remiss if I did not introduce one more person before I introduce that person. And this was a last second introduction here, but we'd be remiss if we did not honor and welcome up to the podium Mr. George Verales, who's the event sponsor for tonight. So Mr. Verales, if you wouldn't mind coming up real quick, just say a few words for us to kick us off.
Well, thank you all very much. It's an honor to be part of this and to sponsor it. And when Jack Cobb called me and asked me if I would sponsor it and told me what it was about, I said absolutely yes. I really appreciate being here and being allowed to do this. But we're here to honor you for coming over some adversity. You've all got your own stories, and it's really important to give honor where honor is due. And so I'm glad that we have a school board, and principals that see the importance of recognizing those that have overcome hardship. There's a saying that's not always true, and that is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sometimes it can really take the life out of you. and cause you depression, emotional pain. And so when I see something like this, I look at this as an act of love and kindness, that people are coming together and recognizing those that need to be honored and need to be supported. So I thank you guys very much for all coming here and overcoming those adversities. We love you, and we're thankful that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, George. I'd also like to acknowledge that the beautiful flowers that you see up at the front, we will be giving those away at the end of the show. So hang on to your hats here before we dismiss. We're going to play a little game and put those flowers, those beautiful flowers, in a couple of your hands as we leave. Now, next up, again, the man that needs no introduction, our own. He is now the coordinator of mental health services, oversees all school counselors for Maury County Public Schools, Mr. Derek Greene.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. When Jack asked me to do it, I don't think he really asked. I think he told me. And so he said, "You're going to do this. Yvette did a great job when she did it last, and so we want you to do a great job as well." So no pressure from Jack, but so I'm just glad to be here tonight. So I want to start off with what is resiliency, but I'm going to use quotes for what I thought resiliency means. No matter how bleak or menacing a situation may appear, it does not entirely own us. It can't take away our freedom to respond or our power to take action. On the other side of a storm is the strength that comes from having navigated through it. Raise your sail and begin. So those quotes resonated with me as I thought about tonight's event. I've heard some of the stories that will be shared, and they're really touching, and to see how resilient a lot of people in our district are, from educators to students. So I'm humbled and grateful to be here tonight. And in my position, I have had the opportunity to travel to all the schools in the district and to see how resilient our schools are in themselves. Our schools have endured a lot over the past couple of years, and this year is no different than any other. It's one of the most difficult I've had in my career as well, but every school has got up and moved forward every single day. It's amazing to see how resilient our system is. So many situations we've experienced would be easy for others who have been dealt the saying to call it quits or call it in, but our system as a whole has kept moving forward. Resiliency is seen when others persevere in tough times. I'm excited to hear all the stories of educators and students who have exemplified just that. I know I myself have been motivated by a school counselor who was recently just retired from our school system. She has been one that I have looked up to while in MCPS and continue to do so, as she has been a beacon of hope and strength. And right now, I'll go ahead and read hers now. I have nominated Grayson Mabry. I would like to nominate recently retired school counselor Grayson Mabry. She is battling cancer, which has resulted in her retiring from Woodard Elementary after 25 plus years of serving that school and community. Grayson has been a consistent school counselor for MCPS and someone young counselors like myself have looked up to. I hope Grayson was going to be here tonight, but she was unable to attend. She has exemplified resiliency with her fight against cancer. She has and was and still is there for her students until she physically couldn't. Even though she wasn't there, she still made sure the classroom was prepared for her students and the sub had lesson plans for students' SEL needs. She went above and beyond what most people could or would do in her situation. I am a better person for knowing Grayson Mabry and her resiliency. She has been someone that has really stuck out when I got asked to speak about this, and like I said, she was unable to make it tonight. But Grayson Mabry is the person I nominated for the school counselors as resilient. I hope these characteristics discussed to people tonight spread to others in our district and our communities, that we may show those the way they should lead. Thank you for all your resilience and dedication to MCPS.
Friends, before we transition into the resiliency readings, which will ultimately bring our resiliency recipients up to the stage, just a couple of quick notes, observations over the last year or so regarding resiliency. The reality is we've had to adapt so much in a short amount of time. We've had to evolve, as a community, as schools, and our classrooms, and our home lives. And that speaks to why you're here tonight. Your ability to adapt, your ability to overcome, to persevere, to push through. That's why we honor you tonight. You didn't give up. You continue to fight. You can continue to get up each and every day and push forward with the idea that progress, just progress alone, means happiness. And even if that progress is just 1%, one step forward each and every day, that's why you're here. That's what makes you resilient. So give a big round of applause for yourself. Come on. And although we are recognizing specific individuals tonight, we understand that it takes a team, it takes a village, it takes a family. So thank you to everybody who's been there to support these recipients tonight. At this time, we're going to call up Mr. Scott Gaines, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, and he is going to begin our resiliency readings.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Gaines, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, and I'll be reading the first 6 recipients for Resiliency Awards. Just a little bit of instructions before we get started. I think everyone has a program, right? So we're going to go in that order. So, for example, the recipients and the principal for Baker, if they're here, or the person that's coming up with them, if you would stage yourself to my left. And as we get finished, that way we'll save you some time moving along. So after I get through reading Baker, Battle Creek Elementary is coming up next. So after they get down there and move up on the stage, you can stage. You can go ahead and move forward. Everybody got it? We're good? Okay, so when I think of resiliency, I think it's very different than just being numb about something. It means you experience, you feel, you fail, you hurt, you fall, but you keep going. And that's what I think about when I think about recipients of persons who are resilient. With that, I want to start with Baker Elementary School. Our teacher nomination, and that person is Ashton Beasley. Ashton is in her 2nd year of teaching. Her 1st year of teaching were right in the middle of COVID. She managed packets for remote students as well as the students who were in person. This year has been full of up and downs. However, Miss Beasley, no matter what you throw at her, continues to have a positive attitude, loves all her students, and has a great outlook. We are very fortunate to have Miss Beasley at Baker. The student nominee for Baker Elementary School is Lucas Smith. Lucas has had a very difficult first year for a first grader. Lucas came to Baker from Georgia, transferring schools, leaving friends, coming to a new school, and making new friends is hard. What made it even tougher was he lost an older brother right at Christmas break in a tragic accident. I'm with you on that, Lucas. Despite these difficulties, Lucas continues to come to school, has a great attitude, and puts a lot of effort into his schoolwork. Lucas Smith. So the next school for recipients is Battle Creek Elementary School. The teacher nominated for the Resiliency Award is Andrea Montgomery. Andrea joined the Battle Creek Elementary School kindergarten team well after the year had begun. She welcomed the challenge of creating a nurturing classroom for the variety of personalities in her room. Her colleagues and administration have truly been impressed with how she brings a happy spirit and a can-do attitude each day. Andrea has some situations that have been quite a puzzle this year. She has sought guidance and strategies from a variety of places because she strives to make her students' kindergarten year the best it can be. We have been so proud not just of her resiliency, but how she has managed to navigate this year with tenacity and grace. We're so glad to have you a part of our Battle Creek Cub crew. Andrea Montgomery. Okay. The student nomination is Alta Bobo. Okay. Battle Creek Elementary has nominated Alta Bobo to receive the Resiliency Award for the 2021-22 school year. Ollie's journey began on September 2nd, 2021, when she missed school due to a low-grade fever. She was taken to a walk-in clinic to test for COVID and address the new symptom of arm pain. By Saturday morning, Ollie could not walk and was taken to the Williamson County Medical Center for evaluation. Blood work showed she had barely any red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets. She was rushed by ambulance to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. There, she started her journey with leukemia. As an inpatient for the following 40 days, she fought an MRSA blood infection as well as an E. coli infection. She began consolidation therapy, and for the following 8 weeks, she endured harsher chemotherapies, one of which sent her in an anaphylactic shock. Ollie has a rare cell mutation that makes it harder for kids like her. She was then set up to receive an immunotherapy drug, and Ollie had a pump, IV pump, and a line access into her port for 28 days. She carried a backpack on her 24/7, but that didn't let her slow down. Finally, we were able to hear her doctor say, "I have great news. Ollie is MRD negative and in remission." She still has a long road ahead of her, and her expected end of treatment date is December 28, 2023. Through everything, Ollie has been strong and courageous. She took losing her hair in stride. She even had fun shaving designs and colored her hair when it started growing back. She has diligently worked on her schoolwork. She keeps up with the class through Google Classroom and is even able to join for virtual lessons. Ollie always has a smile on her face. She participates in lessons, and it is a joy for her, Miss Burlingame, and the other students. Ollie is the most resilient child we have ever met. We're going to invite Miss Bobo to say a few words to recognize. The student recipient is, once again, is Miss Alta Bobo, and now we'll have a few words from Miss Bobo to recognize Miss Burlingame. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'll make this as quick as I can. Miss Burlingame, please. I don't know how many realize the implications and the horror of having a child diagnosed with cancer. Miss Burlingame has been amazing through all of this. After the dust settled and a few weeks in the hospital, it finally hit me that she had missed 3 weeks of school, and what are we going to do? And Miss Burlingame, given the opportunity to either let the county take over and have her have someone that she doesn't know and is unfamiliar with her and her learning styles take over and try to do something remotely because of COVID and everything, decided that she wasn't going to let that happen. She decided to take it upon herself to be her educational advocate and got the approval to continue to teach Allie remotely. And even for all you teachers here, you know how difficult it is to run an inside, classroom live. And then on top of that, Miss Burlingame also made sure every day to include Allie through Zoom for math class. So she juggled a lot, and she did it for her, and she didn't have to, just out of love. So to thank you and to honor you tonight, because you deserve it so much too, friends and family and even strangers donated some things for you because you have been just wonderful, and you took a burden that from us and just made something easy.
So we still have one more student for Battle Creek Elementary. The other student nominee is Ella Mans. We would like to nominate Ella Mans for the Resiliency Award for the 2021-22 school year. Ella's story is one that you would never want to imagine. Separated from her family and siblings in foster care, feeling lost and hopeless, suffering from those who were less elected to take care of her, Ella often found that disappointment and neglect were a way of life. Ella came to Battle Creek Elementary last year after being placed with grandparents in Tennessee. She arrived in time to complete the last 5 weeks of her 3rd grade year. Ella was lonely, scared, confused with a loss of hope, and unable to trust anyone. When Ella started Battle Creek, she was behind academically, socially, and emotionally, often turning her frustration and anger inward. While at Battle Creek, we watched Ella grow and blossom in so many ways. She is now has a true understanding of trust and support from adults and staff. We watch her shine in her daily school routine and enjoying activities with her peers. She has put a tremendous amount of effort in her schoolwork, improving her academic standing. She will write stories to let her thoughts be known and encourage others never to give up on their dreams and future. Ella has been a true inspiration to watch transform. The work that she puts every day to not only overcome but thrive from the past she endured. Ella has found the stability and support from her grandparents that she had never known before, and will even be adopted by them in the next few months. We're excited to see what Ella will become and accomplish in the future as she continues to inspire us all. Ella Mans. So next is Brown Elementary School. The teacher nominee for Resiliency is Beth Perez. She has faced many challenges this year and is adjusting to those changes. She always comes in to find the best in students and supporting all staff here at our school. Her energy and spirit enhance all processes at Brown, and the students she gets to see every day are encouraged to do their best. Beth Perez. We have another teacher nominee too, Beth Paxson. During this school year, as a new teacher, she persevered through many challenges in 3rd grade. She lost her husband but continued to love her children in class as much as possible. Her shining energy and perseverance will never be forgotten. Beth Paxson. And our student nominee is Farah Bosworth. Despite all physical limitations, she is always smiling and encouraging everyone she meets. She will excel in life because she always sees the good in every situation. This student nominee, Farah Bosworth. Picture. right, you guys are doing such a good job of staging. Thank you so much. So as I think about the recipients tonight, y'all are people who had a plan A that didn't work, but you knew there were 25 more letters in the alphabet, and you just stayed cool, right? You just went to another plan. For Highland Park Elementary School, the teacher nominee, Katie Reed. Ms. Reed has shown exemplary leadership and guidance for our special education department. She has been extremely flexible, hardworking, and positive through all the difficulties that have come her way, as well as dealing with students of severe behaviors. And due to circumstances beyond her control, she has had to take on more and more responsibilities in our special education department. She has done this with grace, perseverance, and kindness. Katie has been a rock star in dealing with all the upheaval in our special education program and has been a rock star with all the upheaval our special education program has been through this school year. Katie Reed. The student nominee for Highland Park Elementary School is Eric Edwards. Eric is an amazing student who has thrived this year. We have loved Eric for many years and have seen such growth and maturity this school year. He has worked so hard to overcome issues while having a good attitude and performing many acts of kindness to others, even as he continues to learn self-regulation. Eric Edwards. Next is Howell Elementary School. The teacher nominee for Resiliency is Cecilia Barrel. Ms. Barrel has faced a tremendous amount of personal loss over the school year, and through it all has never complained, asked for special consideration, or missed excessive amounts of work. Ms. Barrel has exemplified what resiliency means, and her work ethic needs to be bottled for others to purchase, because I have not seen many people push through adversity and loss the way she has for students. Cecilia Barrel. Our student nominee for Resiliency is Jeremiah Fleming. Jeremiah was diagnosed with COVID and had to spend several weeks in the hospital recovering. He pushed through and recovered from what could have been a very bad diagnosis and returned to school sooner than anticipated. Through it all, he maintained his charm, and we're glad to have his smile back with us to finish out the school year. Jeremiah Fleming. Next is Mount Pleasant Elementary School. The teacher nominee, Becky Claiborne. Becky moved schools after teaching 20 years of teaching at the same school. That takes guts. Becky and her family have endured two major losses. Losing a beloved father and father-in-law in the same year would be difficult for anyone. That has not stopped Becky from pushing her students to levels they thought they would never achieve. Becky is a shining light even when she is going through tough times. We are blessed to have her at Mount Pleasant Elementary School. Becky Claiborne. The student nominee is Ziva Claire Grimes. Ziva lost her grandmother 2 years ago and lost her father to cancer suddenly this year. That is a lot of loss for a second grader. Ziva continues to work hard in the classroom, keeps a smile on her face, and is a good friend to many. Ziva is a precious soul who has endured much pain this year. She comes to school with a smile and leaves others feeling happy because of her gracious personality. Ziva Grimes. Congratulations. The next school is Riverside Elementary School. The teacher nominee is Amanda Turman. Amanda has endured injuries to both legs while raising 3 school-aged sons. She comes in prepared every morning to teach her pre-K class. Our teacher nominee, Amanda Turman. Our student nominee, forgive me if I messed this up, Madeline Holyoke. Good? Got it? Yay. Come on up, Madeline. Right there you go. Throughout the pandemic, Madeline at school, everyone knows her as Maddie, was homeschooled, quarantined, and remote more often than not, missing months of instruction and support from her teachers. Despite the challenges this caused her academically, Maddie pushed through this school year and showed great progress and success. We could not be prouder of her dedication, effort, and growth. Maddie Holyoke. Sorry about that. Should practice that. Our next school is Spring Hill Elementary School. Our teacher nominee is Heather Luskey. There is no one that I can think of that is more deserving of this award than Heather Luskey. Heather is a dedicated educational assistant at Spring Hill Elementary School who continues to keep kids first by going above and beyond. She had entered a difficult season this year with an unexpected health diagnosis. However, she continues to show up each day with a positive attitude and outlook on things. Here are a few things that her co-workers from Spring Hill Elementary have shared. Heather's in a difficult season, but you never know it. She's always at work with a smile and a helping hand. She's a fantastic co-worker and friend, and there's nobody who deserves to be honored more. Despite going through health issues, she shows up to work and does her best. She puts on a brave face, not only for the students, but also the staff. She is truly an inspiration. Despite her recent diagnosis, she has continued to be present and willing to do whatever is necessary for Spring Hill Elementary School. I don't believe I've ever heard her complain or say, "Poor me." She is a courageous woman. I am both honored and pleased to recognize Heather Luskey as Spring Hills Elementary's Resilient Teacher of the Year. Our student nominee for Spring Hill Elementary School is Shernice Walker Holt. Shernice continues to achieve as a 4th grade student at Spring Hill Elementary despite experiencing grief. Her perseverance is infectious, and we are very proud of the young lady she is becoming. We know that she'll continue to accomplish great things, and we recognize her as this year's Spring Hill Elementary School Resiliency Student of the Year. Okay, gotta take a picture.
Thank you, Colonel Gaines. At this time, we're going to transition. You're going to hear from a new speaker. This will be Miss Renata Powell. She is Spring Hill Elementary School principal, and she will begin our next Resiliency Award recipient from Marvin Wright Elementary.
We're actually going to start with Woodard Elementary School. The teacher nomination is Mrs. Amy Hayes. Amy Hayes has been a SPED preschool teacher for more than 30 years. She has been an asset to the Woodard family. This past fall, she lost her beloved husband, Lee. Through it all, Amy has been a pillar of strength. She returned to school and has carried on with strength and grace. For years, she has gone above and beyond with her students of all abilities. Amy has continued to have a smile on her face, even in the midst of tragedy. That is why she is Woodard's Resiliency Award winner. Woodard's student nomination is Clark Atkins. Clark has been a member of Woodard Elementary School since pre-K. Clark has a medical condition that causes him to receive special nutrition during lunch. So every day during his educational career at Woodard, Clark has had to eat lunch with his nurse and other office staff. Clark has never complained about having to eat in the office. To say that we're going to miss Clark, next year will be an understatement. Clark, we will miss your knowledge about music, especially Beach Boys, your uncanny knowledge about cars, your cheerful conversations, and your ability to make us smile. Nurse Ashley and your entire office staff loves you very much.
Last night, so.
Next up is Wright Elementary School. The teacher nomination for Wright Elementary School is Shauna Aggarwal. Shauna has endured the deaths and illnesses of several family members during this school year. Shauna shows resiliency through her positive attitude and ever-present smile at work. She has a strong faith and a kind spirit that inspires people. When life gets tough, Shauna keeps pressing on and is always a joy to speak with. The student nomination for Wright Elementary is Kylie Jacobus. Kylie is new to Marvin Wright this year and came to us from New Jersey. She has dealt with the loss of a close family member this year and showed so much maturity in the face of sadness. Kylie also is a leader and shows kindness to others daily. She is a delight to have in the classroom and at Marvin Wright Elementary School. Jacob, if you can fix the lights for us, thank you. Next up is Battle Creek Middle School. The teacher nominee for Battle Creek Middle School is Lori Borum. Miss Borum taught 6th grade math for her first 2 years at Battle Creek Middle School. At the beginning of this year, Battle Creek Middle School was understaffed in the 5th grade because of the amount of growth experienced. At a time when Ms. Borum's family was facing a major health crisis with a family member, she approached the admin team to let them know that she would be willing to move to 5th grade if that proved to be the best option for the school. Even while facing a difficult time within her personal life, she stepped up and did what was best for the kids through perseverance and strength. The student nomination is Kyle Nielsen. Kyle is not only an excellent student who does his best at all times, but he is also an excellent athlete who performs at very high levels. Kyle was a member of the Battle Creek Middle School cross-country, track, and wrestling teams. During the cross-country regionals, Kyle felt some discomfort in his lower leg. What Kyle described as uncomfortable would have probably stopped most people. However, Kyle kept running. Kyle finished first in the meet and qualified for the state cross-country championship scheduled to be held the following week. Unfortunately, Kyle had broken a bone in his lower leg during the qualifier, which prevented him from competing at the state level. Even though Kyle was very disappointed that he couldn't compete, he remained positive and strong, and a strong encourager for his fellow teammates. Great job. Cox Middle School. The teacher nominee is Angie Gillespie. Prior to this year, Ms. Gillespie was a pre-K teacher at McDowell Elementary School. As that school closed, she stepped out on faith to try something different. This year, she began her first year as an ELL teacher at Cox Middle School. Just a couple of months into learning this new position, her partner teacher left the state, leaving her alone to manage the entire caseload of over 60 students. Through all of these unknowns, she never lost her positivity and smile. She is truly a resilient woman who has faced many daunting tasks with grace and kindness. Ms. Angie Gillespie. The student nomination is Keely Bradley. Keely has demonstrated resiliency by rising to meet many challenges. Keely overcame moving and being new to our school this year. Keely always has had a great attitude and is active in all of her classes. Even as a new student, Keely qualified and applied to Columbia Central Collegiate Academy and was accepted into this elite program for her freshman year. She has worked hard despite the obstacles, and she is a rock star. Great job, Keely. Next up, Mount Pleasant Middle School. The teacher nomination was Ms. Caroline Briggs. Ms. Caroline Briggs is the bookkeeper at Mount Pleasant Middle School, and despite many health obstacles this year, she has endured it with a smile. Ms. Briggs is an asset to our school community and is well respected by the faculty for her support and oversight of all things bookkeeping. We are proud Mrs. Briggs is a MPMS Tiger. And our student nominee is Joshua Mowry. Joshua is a 7th grader at Mount Pleasant Middle School, and despite health obstacles, has endured this past year. He has endured this past year. JJ has a determined attitude in class and is active in sports and other extracurricular activities at Mount Pleasant Middle School. We are proud of JJ for overcoming the challenges he has faced, and we're proud he is an MPMS Tiger. Next up is Spring Hill Middle School. Spring Hill Middle School's teacher nomination is Sharonda Polk. Throughout this year, Ms. Polk has endured multiple losses of family members, as well as having medical issues herself. Her daughter also suffers from a chronic medical condition. In April, Ms. Polk opened her home to her 13-year-old twin nephews. Through all of this, she remains diligent in her work responsibilities and continues to support her coworkers when the need arises. Spring Hill Middle School loves you, Ms. Sharonda Polk. And the student nomination, 2 student nominations, Kingston and Saylor Ward. Kingston and Saylor transferred to Spring Hill Middle School in the 2nd semester after the loss of their father due to a motorcycle accident. Kingston and Saylor have also endured the absence of their mother while being here at Spring Hill Middle School. Their grandparents have been a huge support in their lives, and the twins continue to excel in their academics, in their sports, their behavior, and in their attendance. The resilient Ward boys. Next up, Whitthorne Middle School. The teacher nomination is Sherry Kennedy. Is it Sherry? Sherry? Is it Sherry? Sherry. I wanted to make sure I said that correctly. Sherry has served at Whitthorne Middle School for over 38 years. Sherry has been our librarian assistant, but she does so much more than serving in our library. Sherry epitomizes resiliency as she has survived tragedy in her personal life. She's withstood medical emergencies with children, as well as the passing of her husband. Sherry has served in this community for many years, and she is always a smiling and encouraging face for others. Sherry is a listening ear for staff and students, and is always willing to support those who come to her. Sherry has gone above and beyond, not only completing her daily responsibilities, but also serving daily in classrooms through the shortage of substitute teachers this year. Sherry rarely misses work and continues to return to Whitthorne year after year. Sherry has been serving Whitthorne since 1982 and often jokes that when she retires, she will be carried out in a pine box. Sherry is not compensated for all she does, but her Whitthorne family wants her to know when we see her, we know what she does daily for the school, and we thank her for her hard work and all that she does around here. Congratulations. And the student nomination is Adeline Bond. Adeline Bond is a 6th grader at Whitthorne Middle School. After leaving Whitthorne in October of 2021, she transferred back in February this year. Adeline had only been back at Whitthorne for a couple of weeks when her mother suddenly passed away. After her mother's passing, Adeline returned to school, eager to learn and eager to be a part of the school. Adeline has been at school daily, only being out for doctor's appointments. Adeline has worked hard in her classes, remaining dedicated to learning while coping with the loss of her mother. Adeline exudes a sweet spirit, and her teachers often comment on her sweetness, desire to learn, and friendliness to others. Adeline is compassionate, loving, and determined to make her mark in this world. We are proud of Adeline and her zest for life and dedication to being the best at everything she does. Congratulations. And now I will turn it over to Miss Sparrow Lang, principal of Spring Hill Middle School.
Okay, next up, we will have Culleoka Unit School. Teacher nomination, Gidget Johnson. Gidget has shown exceptional grit and resiliency while dealing with her breast cancer diagnosis and treatment. It takes an incredibly strong person to love and care for others while you are physically and emotionally suffering. Yet, she has continued to love and care for her students and co-workers while caring for herself. We all love Gidget and wish her nothing but love and healing. Gidget Johnson. Student nomination, Blaine Hendry. Blaine Hendry is a senior at Culleoka Unit School. Blaine is a very bright young man and has always walked his own path. Since elementary school, Blaine has had some recurring medical issues that involve complications with his kidneys. He had a very invasive surgery back in elementary school, but still has some complications over the years. Just before Blaine's senior year was to begin, he became very sick and experienced extreme pain. Doctors determined Blaine needed yet another surgery, and this set in motion a very difficult and painful senior year. Blaine was put under a total of 11 times in less than 4 months. Blaine was unable to attend school during this time, so he was assigned a homebound teacher. Blaine has had many ups and downs this year. It has been hard to focus on school when you are in such pain. Blaine was finally well enough to come back to school, and it has been a difficult journey to catch up on missing work. He has been discouraged and has thought about giving up at times. Blaine does want to graduate, and even though it is difficult, he is committed to seeing this through. Blaine's family is proud of his resilience, and Culleoka School is proud to see Blaine awarded the Resiliency Award. We wish him the best as he moves on to the next chapter of his life. Blaine Hendry. Hampshire Unit School. Teacher nomination, Regina Brewer. During fall break, while on an anniversary trip with her husband to the Grand Canyon, Mrs. Brewer lost her son, Ethan, in a tragic car accident in their hometown. The Brewer family is a very close family with 4 children, so losing Ethan left a huge void that will forever weigh heavy on them. After taking a few days off, Mrs. Brewer returned to her classroom to teach her middle school math students. Even with a heavy heart, Mrs. Brewer fights through the pain to make sure her students receive the best instruction possible in her classroom. Regina Brewer. Student nomination, Amir Lopez. Amir is a kindergarten student who has a younger sister with childhood cancer. During this last year, Amir has had to adjust and adapt to different living situations, from being home to staying with family and visiting with his sister and parents at the hospital in Nashville. After struggling academically, Amir has made great gains during the school year in spite of the situation he has been faced with. Amir Lopez. Santa Fe Unit School. Teacher nomination, Lindsey Hargrove. Lindsey has shown resilience this school year. She is responsible for caring for her mom, who has been in and out of the hospital, and has bravely filled in the gap to teach 7th grade math along with normal challenges. Despite it being a tough year, she daily gives 100% to her students. There have been days I thought she was going to give up, but she has not. Lindsey Hargrove. Student nomination, Jacob McCormick. Ms. Irvin and I would like to nominate 6th grader Jacob McCormick for the Resiliency Award. Jacob's dad, Mike McCormick, subbed here at SFUS for many years. Unfortunately, after contracting COVID, Mr. McCormick suffered from a terminal illness resulting from COVID. Jacob came to school while his father was extremely ill, and after his death, still worked hard to make his father proud. Jacob was conscientious in making up his work and not falling behind when he had to miss school because of his father's illness death. This sweet child just also lost his grandmother recently, whom he was very close to. 2 tremendous losses in this young man's life this school year, yet Jacob has a fantastic attitude and strong work ethic despite the hardships he has had to endure. Jacob McCormick. Virtual Academy. Student nomination, Retanzia Sparkman. Retanzia's hard work and diligence has prompted her to be successful regardless of her situation. She thrives in the virtual environment. Retanzia Sparkman. Northfield Academy. Student nomination, Tavarea Stringfellow. Tavarea is a hardworking student that has overcome much loss this semester. He continues to work hard and has graduated in spite of his situation. Tavarea Stringfellow. H.O. Porter School. Teacher nomination, Melissa Todd. Melissa Todd for her perseverance professionally and personally while keeping students a priority. She has been faced with many obstacles this past year, but she has still risen to the challenge of caring for and educating her students. Melissa Todd. Student nomination, Cardell Martin. Cardell Martin has been able to remain resilient in the face of adversity, which included the recent loss of two very close friends. He still continues to grow and mature while learning life lessons. Cardell is showing true potential for a bright and promising future. Cardell Martin. Congratulations. Central High School. I think these two gentlemen formed a special bond over the year. Teacher nomination, Nicholas Campbell. Mr. Campbell overcame a devastating injury to a player. He visited the hospital with the family while coaching his team. His fortitude to persevere showed his strength of character and his dedication to his students and Columbia Central High School. Nicholas Campbell. Student nomination, Amari Franklin. Amari had a devastating and serious injury occurred during practice in December. He spent time in Vanderbilt Hospital after life-saving performances by trainers and coaches at CHS. Amari returned to school in February to support his team and continue his studies. He will take his heart of gold and his resiliency to Welch College to continue his education and basketball career. Amari Franklin. Mount Pleasant High School. Teacher nomination, Mr. Tony Grooms. Mr. Tony Grooms is retiring at the end of the school year. He is a pillar of the Mount Pleasant community and a role model for so many past and present MPHS students. Mr. Grooms has battled through health issues and a school tragedy, all while simultaneously adjusting his practices to meet the ever-changing demands of education and industry. Mr. Tony Grooms. Student nomination, Harvey Wood. Harvey came to MPHS mid-year with a lot of troubles. Since coming to MPHS, we have seen Harvey embrace our culture of high expectations and an empathy-based discipline practices. Harvey has increasingly shown his ability to overcome obstacles and adversity. Harvey's perseverance and commitment to bettering himself is both inspiring and encouraging. He represents the power of the human spirit and gives us all hope that progress does, in fact, equal happiness. Harvey Wood. Spring Hill High School. Staff nomination, Jody Gutierrez. That's it. Miss Jody has stepped into the position of cafeteria manager this school year after only 1 year of cafeteria experience. She has had to continuously battle being understaffed due to the coronavirus, along with having open positions due to the lack of applicants. On top of all this, Mrs. Jody recently lost an immediate family member and had to travel out of state. Through all of this, she has stood strong. Jody Gutierrez. Student nomination, Kanye Conway. Kanye has grown up and struggled all of his life with a learning disability. His disability never slowed him down, but actually inspired him to write a book called Nightman. The book is about what you can do with positive powers. Kanye wants people to understand that a hero can be anyone, no matter what they look like or where they come from. Kanye Conway.
Friends, can we get one more big round of applause for all of our recipients? That does bring our resiliency readings to a close. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight. However, before we go, we have got 8 beautiful flower pots here to give away, okay? And these are courtesy of Mr. George Veralis. George, we're appreciative for your benevolence. So friends, clap it up for Mr. Veralis one more time. Now, I've got the wonderful Miss Kendra Chapman. She is high school coordinator for Murray County Public Schools. And however, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Miss Duncan, who actually prepared this for us. She's also our elementary school coordinator for Murray County Public Schools. So we're going to draw 8 names here, friends, okay? And let's hope it's your lucky name that's drawn tonight. Drum roll, okay? So first up, it's only funny because, all right, Mr. Tony Grooms, I swear, man, I pulled your name out of this thing first. I kid you not, man. That's wild, isn't it, man? Hey, that's wild, Tony. Mr. Tony Grooms, I literally just pulled your name out first. Next up, Miss Shauna Aggarwal. Shauna. Let me get some of you folks in the back here. Let me get deep on this. Okay, here we go. Next up, Cardell Martin. All right, let's keep the party going. Amir Lopez. Come on up, Amir Lopez. You are the lucky winner of one of these beautiful flower sets. Next up is Angie Gillespie. Angie Gillespie, come on up. And next is Kingston and Sailor Ward. Kingston and Sailor Ward, would you come on up and grab one of these pots? Jody Gutierrez. Jody Gutierrez, come on up and grab you one of these beautiful pots. All right, looks like we're going to have 2 left. Next up, Blaine Hendry. Blaine Hendry, come on. There's my man, Blaine. Come on, Blaine. Last but not least, Adeline Bond. Adeline Bond, would you come on up and grab our last flower pot? Do I see Miss Bond? No, I don't. Here we go. We'll keep the party going. Just a reminder, I'm going to say, if you're a senior in the house tonight, you know, our Strive to Drive event is coming up. Each year, Columbia Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram gives away a free car to a graduating senior. But seniors, you have to be present to win, so make sure you're in attendance that night. Next up is Becky Clayburn. Becky Clayburn, are you in the house? Yeah, there she is. So that rounds out our last flower pot. Thank you, Mr. George Verales, and thanks to everybody who came out tonight. You are all resilient. We appreciate you for joining us. Thank you so much. We'll see you next year.